much for joining us.
Problem.
We know you've had a busy week. Congratulations again on the win on Sunday, and we appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us before you head home to Richmond, obviously a track that is near and dear to your heart. So quickly before we get started, tell us a little bit of, I guess, how does it still feel to win the Southern 500, and then also just that win heading into Richmond, you know, kind of how do you look for that momentum to help your team this weekend?
Well, we certainly hope that we continue that momentum. We got some great tracks really for these next few weeks that really suit our history there and my history there. So we just hope to continue that momentum. Try to build as many playoff points as we can for the next round and the following round. Obviously, we were able to get back the difference between first and second in the points in the regular season here in the first week. We were able to get that back, but just really excited for our team to be able to win the first playoff race and to add the Darlington Southern 500 on top of that. It was a great bonus, but I really feel like our team's been strong all year. We just finally had things break our way this weekend.
All right, we're going to take as many questions as we can in the time that we have with Denny. We do have a limited amount of time with him, so if you can please keep your question to one question and possibly one follow-up, we would greatly appreciate it. And to kick us off, we're going to start with Bob Pockris. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, Denny, from testing the car, the next-gen car this week, and from what NASCAR's told you from the safety test, are you any more comfortable about the safety of that car than a couple months ago?
I would say I'm a little bit more educated on it. In general, there was a little bit more time when they can sit with you one-on-one and discuss things. I still have questions, but I think that really I have to see all the information to really understand the questions that I want to have. But certainly, I mean, we're going to end up racing it. We're going to race it, so we're all going to have to get comfortable.
And how do you solve the heat problem in that car?
I'm not sure. I mean, it is a concern. It's a big concern. Obviously, it's difficult because it's the way the car designed. The design of it, having where the exhaust is all boxed in, running right underneath the seat right there. It's just, I mean, it's hot. I mean, it's 450 degrees down in that box, so it's super hot. And then you got the exhaust, all the hot radiator flowing right into the car from the hood. So I don't really know. I think they're gonna have to really make some big changes to it to make some change. Something that will allow us to finish races without having major issues. But yeah, I mean, I think they made some gains with some stuff that they did with Austin Dillon later in the day, hopefully.
Okay, our next question will come from Claire B. Lang. Go ahead, Claire.
Thank you. Denny, can you discuss how hot it was in the car for the test? Kind of put that into words, kind of paint a picture.
I mean, it's difficult because I know myself and a lot of the drivers had everything they possibly could in the car with them. That's an AC unit, and it's also a cool shirt. I just started running a cool shirt maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, but the team recommended that I take it with me and try it. So that was going to be the best conditions I possibly could get. Some of the lower budget teams don't have the money for those nice luxuries, and so it will be very, very, very difficult for them to be able to run it without it. But yeah, I mean, I can't express how hot it was. It was really, really hot. You just couldn't. It's hard to really put a number on how hot it was.
Yeah, you said after the test that trying to figure out how we can make these cars draft and put on the greatest shows that we worked on for 20 plus years with the other car. How long will that take? When you read a quote like that, it almost sounds like, how's that going to happen by the time we get to Daytona? How many years will it take? Put that in perspective, that comment.
Well, I think NASCAR's always kind of refined different aerodynamic packages to to make the racing as good as they can. Of course, what we have now is kind of on the extreme scale where it's, huge runs, cars are able to push each other and not spin out without, even when they hit each other. These cars, a little bit more edgy in that sense where, they don't take getting pushed quite as well, but still it's, we have to just figure out what kind of racing we're going to want to try to achieve, whether it be the old style where there was a big bubble and the leader could really block and block the runs coming, or do we want to have the kind of like we have now? I think that we can achieve either one. It's just a matter of what their preference is going to be, and obviously the safety side is going to be a preference to them to whatever keeps these cars on the ground, keeps them from turning over. Those are all going to play a factor into what NASCAR decides. But ultimately, my initial impressions were, it definitely didn't have big runs. The runs took very, very long to try to build. But again, we just had, a few. We had only 7, 8 cars out there, which that changes things a little bit. But still, I've been in 5-car packs that have been a lot different than that before. So. It just takes time to get it right. I mean, again, this is the first time this car's been on this type of racetrack. They're playing around with different horsepowers and spoiler sizes. So they'll, it's just a lot different because the air is coming underneath the car now, where that used to be a pocket of air that got built, which created a run.
Really appreciate your time, Denny. Good luck this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question will come from Kyle Dalton. Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, Denny. So keeping on the tire or on the test yesterday. So I was just curious about the rear view camera because Chris Buescher talked about it and made some remarks about it. And I didn't hear anyone else talk about it. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on the rear view camera.
I didn't run it. It was our personal choice not to run it. For me personally, I have been in vehicles that have had, a rear view camera while you're driving. I didn't like it. To me, it just kind of crosses my eyes, makes me a little dizzy, when I look at it, but, the reason that we have those is because the visibility isn't as good. These cars are a little bit higher off of the ground. And so we need to be able to see. So they put in a camera back there. So, I think that they can fix some things with the spoiler, bring the carbon fiber part of the spoiler down, increase the Lexan size. That will certainly help with the vision. I think that the camera is probably something that I really won't explore.
Very good. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
Okay, our next question will come from Michelle Martinelli. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi, Denny. I'm wondering how familiar you are with NFTs and what you might think if NASCAR or NASCAR entities got involved with something like NFT opportunities.
I'm not hugely versed in it. I mean, I know a little bit about it. I know that some conversations are going on with NASCAR and or the teams about NFTs, but I really don't know a ton about them.
Our next question will come from Michael Shelton. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you. Well, Denny, you on your Twitter account, you were very complimentary of your pit crew. Saying we all have each other's backs through thick and thin. But I was just wanting to maybe understand maybe how important last Sunday's win was for you, considering entering the playoffs with 6 wins last year compared to this year with no wins. Just how important was last week's victory for a morale booster, and how much momentum does this give you moving forward?
Well, I feel it's great for my team. I mean, that's what, that tweet is about. It's just the team and these guys. I mean, we're so happy as I've seen them in victory lane in quite some time. And you honestly fall your, victim at times when you have a lot of success and you win a lot of races like we've done over the last, 3 years. You get to victory lane, it's not as exciting because, hey, we just did this 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. But when you have a little bit of a winning drought, when you go back, it just makes you appreciate that moment a little bit more. So these guys were very, very excited. But certainly, I mean, every week they're as optimistic as I am. I mean, I walk by the pit lane and I talk to those guys and they're like, today's our day, today is our day. And so I just, they never lose hope, and they know that we're up front every single week, and they know that it's just bound to, the dice is bound to roll our number at any moment. And this Sunday it did. So they were able to celebrate that.
Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks.
Okay, our next question will come from Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thank you. A couple things, Denny. In terms of the next gen car, obviously there'll be some more tests later this year and even into next year. How much will you want to get into that car more often, or is it going to have to be a case where you have to share it with your teammates and you won't get into it for another few months now?
Yeah, I mean, that's the difficult part about it, is that I am going to have to share, and I think I only get to get in it one more time, which is the Charlotte Oval. So before the Daytona 500. So I mean, there's a lot that I'd like to be involved with it, but honestly, just won't have the opportunity because of the restrictions based off of, you can only bring so many cars per organization. They have to split that up amongst myself and my teammates.
Also, with you advancing to the next round, obviously Vegas, Talladega, Roval. I'm sure obviously you look at Talladega as a great opportunity, where some people may look at that as a toss-up. But is Vegas? I guess I would almost make the argument that Vegas might be one of the most important races in the entire playoffs, because it's the beginning of that second round, and what could happen at Talladega and the Roval. Do you see it that way? Am I wrong, or how do you view what Vegas can be when you look at the total of the second round?
Well, I mean, no, you're right in that sense that is the track where you can control your destiny the most, and so that's the one you have to put the most emphasis on, because that's where if you do a good job as a driver and your car is fast, the team does their job, that's where you can get your best result. In the other two tracks, I mean, you're more likely to be caught up in someone else's issues than you are your own. So I just think that, you have to put a lot of emphasis on it, no doubt. And I'm sure that will be by far the most nervous race that probably the entire 12-car field is going to have, is hoping that they perform well at that race, because there's just no givens. And you'll hear it. It might even come from us. If you have a bad Las Vegas, well, we'll just go get them in Talladega. Well, we all know deep in our thoughts that the likelihood of that is just very, very slim.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. And Denny, before we let you go, I know our time with you is almost up. A quick question related to Saturday will be the 20th anniversary of 9/11. There'll be several things at the track to kind of honor those. Do you remember where you were on 9/11, or what memories you have around that time?
I do. I mean, I was at Townsend Racing Products. I was putting the exhaust actually on my new late model that my parents emptied their savings account to help pay for. And I'll never forget, just someone coming in the shop. I was underneath the car, fitting it, and they were like, "Hey, something, a plane hit a building," and we all went in there, and that's where we sat for the next 8 hours or so. Is out there in the lounge where they had a TV, and just remember just being glued to it all day.
All right. Well, thank you again for your time. Congratulations on the Southern 500 win, and best luck this weekend in your home track at Richmond.
All right. Thank you.